Welcome back to REV Endurance Sports, and today we're going to talk about my nutrition product with an old friend of mine. So let's get right into it, just so that anyone who's new to the channel, they can get everything they need right from the start. Tell me why you reached out to me to get some REV Energy.
So online, I was seeing some of your posts and information about this, and I know you do a lot of road cycling, and you were posting previously about tandem cycling, and my wife and I do that as well.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
a background where I started in the 80s riding and racing my bike, but many years off, but decided to get back into it. And looking around at a lot of the nutritional options out there, what appealed to me was the sound of a product that would be able to deliver the right amount of energy, and it's modulatable, if that's even a word, but you could control how much you wanted, but
My girlfriend's a
lacking
pharmacist,
flavor.
so she says titrate.
There you go. I like those fake words.
Yeah.
But finding something that you could customize to your own intake and output needs, and lacking flavor, so there's some good things there, but also, having that carb energy. And if you needed to add electrolytes, you do that on your own, and there's many different options for that. So that's kind of what was appealing to me about your product.
Right, so let's talk about that. This product has only carbohydrates, no electrolytes, no protein, no fat, no amino acids. That's the buzzword now, BCAAs. So the reason I did it that way is so that you can always control the amount of calories you've got coming in without having to worry about your electrolytes. Okay, if I need 300 calories per hour, which would be 3 scoops, and I need 300 calories per hour, then I just have 3 scoops of this. If it's cold out, we've had 41, 42 degree mornings, Fahrenheit, you don't need that much electrolytes.
Yeah.
So you would end up having to have all these electrolytes, or I have another product that has protein and fat and all this other stuff, and you're like, no, I just need the carbs.
Yep.
Get through a morning group ride before it warms up. Now you're going out longer than that. I'm working on an electrolyte product. Now you can add your electrolytes as needed, okay? You dose it in, or you have it in a capsule form, like let's say, a salt stick or something, right? And you just say 300 calories per hour, 300 calories per hour. Take 2 capsules, take 3 capsules, take 5 capsules, but you keep your calories always the same. Yeah. So that was one of the reasons why I did that. And flavorless, I just like having 3, 4, 5 scoops in a bottle and no flavor.
Yeah, the video that you showed there on YouTube about the dissolve rate, or whatever you'd call that, it's excellent. It's amazing, because the concern about something that you're putting in up to 3 scoops or whatever is that it's going to be kind of gritty or grainy, and it does not appear to be like that. So I'm very excited to try that.
Yes. So you are alluding to, and I'll put the link to the video in the description. What I did is I took a pint glass, for those that drink beer, you're familiar with the size of a pint glass. So I didn't fill it all the way though. And I put a scoop of energy in there, then I put another scoop, stirred it with a spoon, and I continued my video, and then just pulled it up in front of the camera, and it just completely dissolved, nothing settled to the bottom. And then I even added a 3rd scoop, and it was really only about 12 ounces of water. So it will dissolve. I mean, I've not ever done a glass with 8 scoops, but it will dissolve in your bottle. You shake it, you're good to go. Speaking of that, this having salts and minerals in it, it does sink a little bit to the bottom, but I did notice that if I did it with just electrolytes, and then I did it with this product, and I wonder if it just found a way to bind to it, because it didn't settle as much once I put this in there. So that's a really good thing. Right. I just got this on Friday, and I went out for a ride yesterday. I did not want to try it on my 7-hour ride Saturday. So, okay. So you like the fact that it's no flavor. What are you going to use for electrolytes? Just curious.
I use Humagel brand
Okay.
electrolytes right now, and they have a couple different mildly flavored products.
Yeah.
That's primarily what I've been using for that. A little bit of Enervit, which is an Italian
Yeah, I love
energy.
Enervit, yeah.
So they have an isotonic drink, but since that has carbs, I probably won't add that to this. But the Humagel is the low to no calorie, no sugar additive
just
that I would
electrolyte.
just add to
Yeah.
that. And it has a hint of flavor, but not too much. But I would be open to trying George's new product once that comes available. So yeah.
So what I've done, I can take the calories from here and then I would add, like, let's say Tailwind in a naked formula, I guess they call it. That's also their tasteless. And then sometimes I also add Scratch just to add flavor. If you have something that works for you, you can add this to that. So like, let's say you always ride with X product. It's good on your stomach, everything's great. Throw a scoop of this, it adds an extra 100 calories or 25 grams of carbs. Quick question. Just before we went live, you were talking about how you probably were underfueling your previous cycling.
Yes, George and I were talking. I started in the early to mid 80s, and a lot of the products that we have now just were not there. I mean,
Was it
that
like
was
maybe Cytomax or something?
The
What
first
around?
one was
Accelerate?
Body Fuel, and then
heard of that one.
Cytomax eventually came out. But I mean, the first
Some of my viewers, I've got some 60 plus
yeah,
viewers.
so you'll probably remember those. They had this gray bottle with red lettering. I remember the first kid at the junior race drinking out of a bottle. I was like, what the heck is that? But I do recall, just in hindsight, because I kept a manual training diary all over the years. This is way before all the wearables and all that.
Yeah,
But I was, original polar heart rate monitors, the things that were cat eye heart rate monitor that was wired and all that. But everything was manual, and your nutrition and information was very scarce. So it's great that things have evolved, and I do think that it will enhance the enjoyment.
Yeah.
Performance, yes, and enjoyment, because it's much more enjoyable
Well, if you're
to
not
not
cracking-
be completely depleted and crushed at the end of whatever type of ride you're trying to do.
Any ideas how many calories you were taking in per hour in those days?
No, but
Right.
it would be very. I mean, it would
be
not
interesting,
surprise
wouldn't
me that it was a lot of times it was just plain water.
Yeah.
And then you do a road race of 60 miles or 70 miles, and you'd eat a banana or you eat a power bar, some Fig Newtons.
Yeah.
That's what you.
Figs
were
are
doing.
awesome, by the way.
Yeah, but I don't think it was front of mind that you needed to eat those things.
Yeah.
It's just, to me at least, and again, I'm not representative of everyone, you didn't have the legs to go. It's because you didn't have the legs to go. But in hindsight, it's probably a lot that you just didn't fuel your body quite how you should. So, it's interesting.
So let's contrast that with the current amount of carbs that we're seeing the pros taking in. Do you have any idea? Have you seen the numbers?
Isn't it like up to 300, or is it?
They're up to like 100 to 120 grams of carbs.
I was thinking calorie. Okay,
Yeah, it's just
But, yeah.
So like 400 calories per hour.
Yeah, it used to be
and
a
then
lot,
some.
30 to 40 or 50, and then it's been upped.
It's
quite a bit
continuing.
recently.
It's escalated. It's been like a arms race about the last 4 to 5 years. 80 grams of carbs was like, oh my God, your stomach can't digest that.
Right.
And then 90 grams of carbs, 100 grams of carbs. Yeah, it has really, really escalated. And I have been doing endurance racing since late 90s, and I had no clue how many calories I was taking in. And, the PB&J sandwiches at the aid stations, you grab, because they cut them in half. So you're only grabbing like one and you get going, and it's 25 miles to the next one, the next aid station. And so things have changed, the availability, the accessibility. And one other thing, if you, let me see, so 60-mile road race, so 3 hours at a really good pace before you start accelerating to the end. Was there any gels? Was there anything at that time?
At that
because
time,
that's
no,
when you
gels,
shoot that last gel for the
no,
last.
when gels. I mean, the very first time I ever had a power bar
Yeah.
was at a junior
those
training
things are
camp,
terrible
and
to
it was growing up in the Midwest. It was cold, and the bar was frozen. And I remember I bit my lip, and I was bleeding out of my mouth, and I didn't even realize it because, of course, you're numb from the cold, but then also, you know, the bar. No, that was a precursor to gels, and they did not really, you know, in my recollection of it was sometime in the 90s when they really came out with a lot of those gels.
Yeah. So I do want to say one thing. This product, I tend to believe that 3 hours and above, so let's say it's a 2-hour ride, because some of you will be like, oh, I don't need a bunch of product. Okay, you don't. Let's say a 2-hour ride, you have a good breakfast, you wait a couple hours before you get on your bike or sporting event, and you come home and you have a recovery meal. You could drink plain water or maybe add some electrolytes to your bottle. You don't really need an endurance fuel. But 3, 4, 5, 6 hours into an event or a training ride, this is where this will really save your bacon because you will deplete the glycogen stores in your muscles, right? They usually say a highly trained athlete, about 90 minutes. We're not highly trained athletes. We're weekend warriors. We work full-time jobs, and we probably get a chance to ride 2, maybe 3 times per week. So not everyone's going to need this, but if you do longer rides, you need to keep fueling yourself. And a quick tip that I tell folks is think about your ride, how long it's going to be. So, okay, I'm going out for 5 hours. All right, 5 hours. The intensity is going to be about this much. I've got, you know, hills or I'm riding with a group and they always accelerate here, 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 here. Okay, so the intensity is going to be really high. 5 hours, I weigh about this much. I need about 300 calories per hour. All right, that's 1,500. Figure out how to carry 1,500 calories with you. And oh, by the way, always take a little bit extra because your mate may be bonking and you could always slide him a gel, slide him a bar, slide him something, be like, hey, we just got to get to the next regroup. We'll get some more stuff there. So you figure out how to have it. 300-400 per bottle, a couple of gels, a couple of bars. You decide what works well for you. I also make little mini sandwiches, Hawaiian bread mini, because they're so small.
That, yeah.
And you just put stuff in there, fold them up. I put them in the freezer. So Jess and I will make, you know, the box comes with 12, or the package comes with 12. We'll make all 12, put them in the freezer, and then we just grab. Because once you've taken everything out of the fridge and everything, just assembly line between her and I, we slam them out, wrap them, put them in the freezer, and then we grab 2 or 3 and go out for a ride.
Makes sense.
So you can eat solid foods. Please don't think it's all just about product. You can eat solid foods. It's just sometimes, like let's say you do Tour de Palm Springs. That's a 4-hour 100-miler because you're going hard. You don't have time to be pulling stuff out of your pocket, unwrapping it, chewing on it. If you have the calories in your bottle, it's just so much easier. When I crest a climb, that's when I drink.
Yeah.
So I have a little motto that I tell people, drink before you drop, right? So you crest a climb, drink before you drop down the mountain or hill. I always will, it's just muscle memory. I'll always, as I'm cruising up to a stoplight, grab my bottle, sip, put the bottle back in. Now I'm on the brakes. I stop, right? Because what happens is you stop at the light, you go to take your bottle out, oh, green light.
Exactly. Yes. The one thing that I think about a lot as I'm getting back into
all
cycling
the time.
is the rate of exertion and respiration, and the ease of delivery to your stomach and everything. So some of the solid foods or even some of the gels are harder to get down than something that's liquid like this. So I'm very excited to get on board with trying out REV.
All right. Hey, I really appreciate you folks listening. If you're interested in the product, please contact me. I'll leave my contact information down below. And like I said, if something already works for you, you can just add this to it. It doesn't change its flavor. Oh, I mentioned this in my other video. I sometimes have it in my morning coffee. I don't have enough time, and so I don't have like 2 hours to digest a breakfast. Boom, I put it in my coffee, drink it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just the ease of delivery, like you just mentioned, to get calories in are super simple. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you up the road.